Hello, welcome to Falmouth Is Cooking. Today we're doing a couple of Thanksgiving ideas that are going to be very popular, I hope, for your holiday. And if not, some other time in the fall or even winter. Please stay tuned.
Falmouth Is Cooking is made possible in part by the following. Appliances donated by Crane Appliance. Kitchen installation donated by M. Duffany Builders. Specialty studio electric and gallery installation donated by David Rogers Electric. Kitchenware donated by Eastman's Hardware.
Hello, welcome to Falmouth Is Cooking. I'm Gail Blakely, your host for today, and we are making some Thanksgiving treats. Here I am stirring some chocolate for not a Halloween. Actually, it could be a Halloween too if you wanted to do that. Chocolate bark, which is so simple and very, very popular with so many people, and I've seen it now. I see it all the time in the supermarkets, all these different flavored barks. So I have just melted this in 5-second increments on 50% power in the microwave. There is a recipe for both things that I'm going to be doing today, and I think that that will probably show on the screen at some point, but this one could not be simpler, and the other one too. So here is some melted chocolate, best quality you can get, best quality you can afford. How about, let's say it that way, because sometimes there's some really good stuff on sale. When I opened my chocolate chip bag with this, for this today, it was a little bit bloomed. It was a little cloudy, and that doesn't matter as long as you don't mind the aesthetics of it. And because we're melting this, it will take, it'll be actually just fine, I think. You don't even see that the chocolate has bloomed. You do have to be careful, though. Do it in increments, because if you do it all at once, it will seize, and we don't want to. The last thing you want to have is seized chocolate. That means that it just sort of freezes up, and you can't really do much with it. I think probably there's ways to work with it or unfreeze it perhaps, but I think that taking the precautions to make sure that you do it just by pushing the button every couple of seconds, you're okay. And keep an eye on it. It's not the kind of thing you can walk away from, definitely. And you can see that there's still a few little chips in here, but that's not going to be visible. And it's chocolate, so how can it be bad? And spreading this out on a parchment-lined sheet. You can make this as thick or as thin as you want, as long as the chocolate is spreadable. And then very quickly, before it loses its heat, the bowl was still pretty warm when I did this, quickly before it loses its shine and its heat, we were going to sprinkle it with goodies. So there are a number of different goodies that you can use. At the holidays in December, I usually do red and green and white for Christmas, silver and blue for Hanukkah, So today I thought this is probably a better one for Thanksgiving. So we are using ginger people. I'm showing you this product because I think it's terrific. It's available locally, and it's certainly one of my favorite products. We are doing pepitas, and these are roasted and salted because you want a little bit of crunch with this. So I think the salted helps. And we're just going to pat this down. A piece of foil should do it. I just want to be able to push this down into the bark. That's pretty, actually. All right, and then let's give it some color. This is going to taste really nice because it's got the salted pepitas and the nice crystallized ginger that's chopped. You can buy whole larger pieces of the crystallized ginger, or you can also chop it yourself. You can put it in a processor, but it tends to get a little gummy if you do that. So I would be careful with that. So that's why I think this is such a wonderful, wonderful product. And they also do, made in Fiji, it says, and they also do candies and other ginger products. I think that the ginger people also do a nice marinade, which is a ginger marinade. And just to make it look a little bit more like Thanksgiving, I have a couple little cute little pumpkins that will just add some color. You could do sprinkles here. You could also do sea salt if you're one of those people who really likes the combination of sweet and salty. Sometimes, who doesn't? I think that you can add as much as you want. I think that for this particular dish that we're doing here, candy, I would really probably not do the sea salt, only because it's already got some salt on it from the pepitas. And you don't have to add these orange guys, but I think they're good. And you'll see what we're going to do now with this is put it in the refrigerator to harden, and then we will bring it out and we will just break it into pieces and put it in a tin for gifts, to take as a hostess gift, or just put it in a cookie jar, keep it on your counter, and have it whenever you feel like you need a little bit of something wonderful to keep you going through the day. With an afternoon cup of tea, it's pretty good. All right, so this is going in just to, you can do a freezer, you can do it in the freezer if you want to get it done quickly, but I don't like to do that because sometimes it gets a little crystallized on the top of it, and I'd rather keep it simple here. So here we are, in the refrigerator we go. To be taken out at a later time. Okay, one done. Now we're going to move on to our turkey charcuterie board, which does not have turkey on it because we're thinking about Thanksgiving, and it probably would have, you probably will be having some turkey after this. So we're going to start with putting together this, which also will be on your screen, but this is what I'm using as my cheat sheet. And you can use really whatever you have in your refrigerator as long as you have some imagination and a good sharp knife. So we're going to play around with this. I'm going to start by making my turkey body, which is a nice anjou pear. And so this is going to become the turkey body. I'm just going to cut this just like that to go right here on the bottom of my board. This is a nice board. I like this because if you put it out on a table, people can access it, people can reach for what they want. I also don't want something so big that, so small, sorry, that people are going to be crossing over onto it. So just as a nice presentation for your guests or for your family, or both, you want something that can turn, but you can certainly do this on a board like this or a board like that. Either one. I think the darker one is a little nicer for the turkey. It gives you a lot of contrast, but that's neither here nor there. That's really for you to decide. All right, so now we've got our turkey there and some thinly sliced prosciutto that I'm just going to sort of wrap up like that. And we also have some thinly sliced salami. Thinly sliced is important. A lot of cheese boards will, you might have wedges or something like that, but I think that for this, to be able to really just smush these things together, it's the thinly sliced is the best. And what people can do is bring up a small plate and take what they would like, or like I said before, if it's on a cocktail table and people are sitting around with a glass of wine, or a holiday concoction like a Thanksgiving sangria, they can put this on a napkin or on a small plate and just nibble away. Maybe someday this winter, I'll talk about some butter boards, which are all the rage right now. Taking a board, smearing it with butter. It's actually just a way to serve bread and butter. So smear this baby with butter and put some nice homemade bread next to it and maybe some flavorings to be able to chopped radishes, baby cherry tomatoes, something like that might be fun. But we're not doing that today. Today we're all about fruit and cheese and the bounty of Thanksgiving. Okay, so here's our turkey taking. What is turkey doing here? Turkey is taking shape. So I'm cutting 2 little pieces, tiny little pieces for eyes. Actually, I'm going to make them into little circles. There we go. And put those right. His eye is escaping me here. Put those right on here. There we go. And to make the eyeballs, you peppercorns. Black peppercorns. You can use those little candies that are quite wonderful, that, the little white eyeballs that you see all the time at Halloween. But this is, once again, we're not doing a whole lot of sweet here. My pear is so beautifully ripe that it is just sort of oozing, which is wonderful. Let's see. And then we want a beak. I think I'm going to do the beak in a little bit of orange cheese. This is cheddar. I'm just trying to think about how I want to do it. So let's try it like that. So it's really a different color than the, looks silly. I think that's too big. A different color cheese. We have 3 cheeses here. You can use whatever you would like. We're not doing spreadable cheeses today, obviously. So this is cheddar, which I got really primarily because it's so orange, and I thought it would be pretty. Orange and yellow and deep red are all of our, there we go. All of our Thanksgiving colors. Okay. And now it's simply a matter of building around this. So you could certainly do this with kids. You could do what I did, which is just spread everything out here and ready to rock and roll, as they say. So I have cheddar, I have Havarti, and I have Gouda, all of which have been relatively thinly sliced, but not I sliced this one myself, so it's not as even as these guys. But these are pretty good. I think that you will find that Cutting these is fairly easy. We're going to cut it all into triangles, and the best way to do the triangles with a square is to cut one like that, and then come over and do another one like that. And the reason we're doing the triangles is to be feathers, so our turkey can fly. And then, of course, leftovers can either go into macaroni and cheese, or the cook can enjoy them. Good. Nice to have them at room temp, too. If you make this a day before, or even 2 days before, cover it with plastic, you can refrigerate it, but make sure you bring it out for at least an hour so that the stuff actually comes to room temp. The cheese is so much better that way. Okay, so now we're going to do some salami, which is going to be, I'm going to leave some space here for a couple of apricots, and then we have some mini cucumbers. I think if you made this either with children or without children, or brought it to the grown-ups for Thanksgiving, put it out on the table, I think people would say, hey, it's sort of a cool idea. And again, thin sliced. The prosciutto was very thinly sliced, and the salami, prosciutto always comes thinly sliced in the packages, but I got this salami from the deli counter, and what happened was I said I wanted it really thin, because one of the things that you want to be able to do is make it into little floury kind of things. So let me just show you one other trick while I'm doing this. This is a fun thing to know about. Let's see. I'll just put those right in there. Okay, a little shot glass. Take your salami and fold it on. Fold again. Okay. This is an extra. I don't think we'll put, maybe we will put a salami rose on here. Fold it in half and just work your way around, pinching it to make it stay. And again, I can't say it enough, you really do need the very thin slices. And we are making our salami rose here, just by building it up all the way around. Okay, and I'll show you in a second what happens with this. We do a lot of these where I teach at Highfield. People just like them for something a little special, and all you do is, when you take it out, there's your rose, just like that. And one of the things that you can do is, you could probably add tongs to this if you wanted people to pick this up without using their hands, so tongs or toothpicks would work. But with this, all you have to do is take one piece, pull it off the rose, and the rose pretty much stays intact, and you get to sample it, which is good. Okay, back to my turkey. I probably will put this rose on the board at some point. So my turkey's looking at me as if he's saying, what are you doing? What I'm going to do now for this little baby is give him some feet, which is just cutting a few little strips. For his legs. Turn this so you can see it. And then he needs feet. Cutting on an angle always helps, rather than have everything be so even. So there we go. So we have little turkey feet. Okay. And the pear, I'm sure people will want to eat the pear, especially if it's as gorgeous and ripe as this one is. So one of the things I might do is put a small knife here. You could also do little things of spreadable cheese. That would be easy enough to do here. Then you have to add more implements to your board, and that might take away from the turkey. This turkey's having a hard time with his feet, so I'm going to let it go for now. If you're having a problem with arranging any of this stuff, just walk away from it, just like with your computer, and let it go, and then come back to it. She says, not doing what she's saying she's doing. All right. They're fighting me. Okay, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do, which is to walk away from it. All right, let's get going more here. Let's see. We have some apricots. So one of the things we want to do is sort of make this color contrast. Dried apricots. All of this stuff is available in the produce section of any supermarket. Obviously, these are from the deli. This is from the deli. The cheeses are from the deli or from a cheese shop if you want to do it that way. And the cucumbers are certainly from the produce section. I'll talk to you about the chips when I get to them. I had quite a time finding chips. This recipe calls for pita chips. And the pita chips nowadays are not made in little triangles, and we want triangles because we want to be able to do that on the turkey. So I had to go on a turkey search for triangular chips. So we're okay here, actually, I think. I'm going to start adding some orange. But you could do whatever you would like. You can do, if you can't find the pita chips that are in triangles, you could probably break them. Or you could do what we did here today, which is doing the popcorn chips. So once again, the idea is feathers and food and contrast and keeping it all moving sort of in a circular arrangement. The green of the cucumbers is going to add a nice contrast, and fresh sage leaves would be lovely here. We do have some. I have my final herbs from my garden. Today is mid-November, so we will have probably maybe for another week I'll have some of my sage, but that'll be about it. Okay, so more contrast. Here we are. Let's do these guys. So this is just one of those mini cukes, and I'm looking at it and laughing as I see it on the screen, because when you look at it from different angles it looks pretty weird. I think the best way to look at it is probably going to be going down. Anyway, these are mini cukes cut in half and quartered. And here, because you've got some very indulgent things here. You've got your cheese, you've got your cold cuts. So this will give you a nice crunch. And remember too that as you arrange this, what's nice is that you can always go back and add a few more things to cover up some of what, if you don't like the way something looks, just fix it up a little bit. Okay. And these go with their pointy end up and the cut ends right into the middle. Okay. All right, that's halfway done. The other thing I'm going to add for more crunch and for actually some flavor is some of those tiny, beautiful little mini sweet peppers that you can now get. Really nice peppers, very sweet, very small. And let's see, where are they? Here they are. These are really quite nice. They're very sweet, and they have very few seeds in them, so I'll show you just quickly how to get one ready for this. We've got to take the seeds out. The seeds are where the hot part is, although these are sweet. But obviously, if you cook a lot, if you read about jalapenos or even poblanos, any of the peppers, but especially as you get into the hot, spicy ones, just always take the seeds out because that's where they can be sort of bite. All right, and I'm going to put this for color. I'm going to put them face side, skin side down. That's skin side up. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I think that's good. And then here's some other ones. You want lots of color for turkey. Turkey viewing, turkey eating. Keep the seeds off. And as I said before, what's nice about this is you can really do it a couple of days before. And you are good to go, knowing that you have this ready. Cover it tightly with plastic wrap. And I think you'd be fine to have it sit for probably 24 hours before you serve it. And wouldn't that be nice once your turkey's in the oven and all that stuff is underway? What you want to be able to do is enjoy. And this is the way to do it. Okay. So, all right. I'm not going to put my final pieces on here, which are going to be olives and a little bit of garnish until the very end, because I'm probably going to want to build this up a little bit more. All right, so we've got our stuff there. Now we start with our other cheeses. Again, pointy end up to look like feathers. Okay, and then lastly is going to be around the edge here, some of my crackers. Tuck them in. You used to be able to get, I think it was Stacy's brand, was it, for just all of the pita chips, but they somehow have now gotten into strips rather than making the pointy pita chips. You could also make your own. Get a round pita bread and cut it down the middle, cut it half again and then again, and just, if you want to, just put those in the oven, brush them with a little oil, sprinkle them with a little seasoned salt, and you'll be set to have your definite points for your turkey. I like it falling off the edge. Some people may not. It's up to you. I just like the way it looks. It looks bountiful. And these are not really crackers. These are the poppable, poppable corn, I think is what it is. Making sure that our turkey has enough feathers to be able to fly. And the only thing that I'm really missing here now are the olives. which you're going to push down in to sort of anchor everything. Okay. I think we could call this episode of Falmouth Is Cooking Fun with Food, because we certainly are having fun. Well, I am. I hope you do when you do it, if you do it. Please write into the station and let me know if you do it. I would love to know how some of the recipes we do here turn out. Okay. All right. Let's do a little more garnishing here with some of this prosciutto. And I'm just eyeballing this. You know, you have the ingredients on the recipe that'll be on screen, and I'm really just trying to fill in any gaps. And then a few salamis. If you could get a really nice deep red salami, I think that would be nice. It was, couldn't find it when I was shopping for this yesterday, but I think that that would really make it pop a little bit more. It's, for me, it's a little too bland in here, so you can see that actually on that photo, the sausage, the sausage that you're using is a dark red. It's great. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to let this go. My beautiful ripe pear. Oh, and I know what else I have too for color here. There we go. Okay. And then some dark olives and some green olives, pitted. Makes it a lot easier. I'm actually going to do one row of the dark ones and then one row of green ones, sort of closer to the bird. Our deli olives and artichokes and all of that stuff that's available in these salad bars is really remarkable. It's really quite wonderful to be able to do some cooking with all of those prepared products. And just about all the markets have them again now after COVID. They disappeared for a while, but I think they're pretty much back. Because one of the things that's happening is, as I'm putting stuff on, it's sort of falling a little bit. And you can make this as fancy. You can build it up as high as you would like. You can certainly just play around with it, but it really, really depends on how compulsive you want to be with making your turkey. I guess that's the right word. I'm going to just do really little feats here. I think that's the trick with this cheddar. My Havarti and my Gouda were pre-sliced. My cheddar was not. I sliced that myself, so that's actually a little more unwieldy, shall we say. But I think it'll be okay. I don't know how many toes a turkey has. I'm going to say 3. Should have done some research here. And I think what we're going to do to make this sort of a little more stable right here is give him a little grass to be standing in here. And sort of put this down here and hide his legs a little bit. He's beautiful. Look at those little beet greens, microgreens. Okay. All right, not done yet. A few more things. Let's see. We've got our something like jelly beans, jelly bellies. These are holiday colors. They certainly go well with this. But what I would do is probably serve this just like that, separately. And if people want them, that's great. And if they don't, that's fine. So I would also probably put out a few more crackers in a bowl. And place that around it. Okay, so we have our cucumbers. We have our I'm just making sure I've used everything that I'm supposed to use here. So we've got our prosciutto, we've got our salami, we've got a salami rose that has no room here. So my advice to you is if you're going to do something like this, maybe a bigger board. I'd say this one is about 18 inches, maybe 14 inches in diameter. I might put it on an 18-inch board. And I just don't want these little things to go to waste, so throw some of these around. We are done with our turkey board. Looks pretty good to me. I hope it looks good to you. It's a fun idea. It's a little silly, but that's okay. What else I wanted to do was do this with the pear. Take the center out, the core. The core is in this one, still in that one, but oh, that's good. That adds color. Okay. And just like when you're leaving the house, as Coco Chanel said, always take something off. Don't put on everything. Take a look, see what will come off. So I am going to stop messing around with this and just say, all right, I think I'm done for now. Okay. Trash. And there we have our board. All right, that's one down. Now let's check our bark and see how that's doing. Looks good. One of the things that you could do with this is put on some of the shiny, I talked before about the sea salt, which is mulled and flaky sea salt that you could put on top. Or you could have, when it was still warm, you could put on it some of the wonderful Demerara raw sugar is lovely. And I've recently discovered at my spice store some flavored sugars, which is the Demerara sugar. They have an apple crisp that has some apple essence, apple something or other in it, ginger sugar. Any of that would give this a little bit more sparkle, and that's what I would like, certainly at the more glitzy Christmas holiday. Here we go. And look. Almost nothing to wash. How's that? If I'd been more careful with cutting my parchment paper, I'd be fine. Here is our bark. This was really hard, wasn't it? I think the hardest part was probably doing the melting of the chocolate. And then I'm just going to roll up my sleeves a little bit here. Now this would be nice, right, with that. Okay. This is really wonderful stuff. I'm not too happy with the way this ginger looks, so I have to work on that. I think it's going to taste just fine, but it tastes great. You know, I might even, whoa, that's strong. I might even just serve this just like this on the board and let people even break off the pieces if they want. So maybe do something like this. This can come over here and pile this up on here. There we go. All right, refreshing dessert, refreshing with tea, refreshing with coffee, refreshing just about any time. One of my favorite things to do, and you can really customize it, which is really wonderful. You can make it your own without any problem. Okay, I think that we are done for today. I hope you'll make a turkey. If you don't, that's fine. You'll probably be making another turkey. But this is fun, delicious, and I hope that you'll give it a try. And the bark is really just chocolate bark and good things. So that is it for us today. Next month, I hope to be back with some gift-giving ideas for the holidays, starting with the Tommy's Place cookbook that is just coming out. I saw the proofed version the other day, so I think we're going to have it in a couple more days. And I thank you for watching, and I hope that you will come back and see me again. Take care, everybody, and have a wonderful holiday.
Falmouth Is Cooking is made possible in part by the following. Appliances donated by Crane Appliance. Kitchen installation donated by M. Duffany Builders. Specialty studio electric and gallery installation donated by David Rogers Electric. Kitchenware donated by Eastman's Hardware.